Well, I'm not on the Civil War trails today. I am actually in Montpelier, and I'm out here with Mr. Beat and family. He's selected this location to do a video coming up, and I'm basically getting behind the scenes of what he does and how he puts together his work, and just hanging out, having a good time. You may or may not be able to see it in the background, but behind those flowers over there is Mr. Beat. He's a YouTuber, mostly of political history and political sciences, and he's talking about James Madison today. He's invited me to come out here with him and just kind of hang out and talk history a little bit, since it's kind of my thing too, and checking out what he does when he films and creates his videos. A little man born in Virginia, standing at 5'4", weighing about 100 pounds, would go on to father something so instrumental that it would stand the test of time and change a nation forever. Today, we're at Montpelier. We're going to talk about that man.
Sun is on half your face if you're good at that.
Okay.
Oh, it looks bad.
Okay, you ready? You ready?
Wait. Hold on, wait.
Ready?
Oh, no.
Oh, makeup.
That's better. Okay.
Okay. The dude was shy, hated crowds. So I'm out here today with Matt Beat from Mr. Beat, and we're basically out in Montpelier just kind of checking out Madison's home and seeing what it's all about. He's got a couple videos coming up here pretty soon on the Founding Fathers, and I'm walking along with him just trying to see how he goes through his process and understand better how his videos are created. It's a really neat thing to see. Matt,
yeah,
I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining me. He's a local too, so he's filling me in on a lot of stuff that I would not know otherwise.
Yeah, it's a good time. This garden here is real pretty. It's a beautiful place out here in Montpelier. The DuPont garden, of course, which was the family that owned the house after the Madisons vacated the property via natural selection, I guess you could say. But yeah, we're out here just checking out the grounds, and I don't know about you, but to me, it's just something amazing to be able to walk in the area of somebody with such a great mind.
A genius. Definitely the smartest founding father in my opinion, even smarter than Jefferson, although that's debatable.
Yeah, for sure. And he's always been compared to people like that. But as far as history is concerned, one of my biggest problems with it is he's kind of in the background. He's someone that people don't talk about that much.
Absolutely, and part of it was because he was kind of a quiet guy. He did speak in front of people. He didn't like doing it, but when he did speak, people paid attention. He was greatly respected by his peers, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I guess really in the end, that's what counts. And the fact that he fathered and helped create that Constitution that we have, I mean, that really is Americanism at its best.
Yep. He was the father of all of us in that way.
It's true.
Instead, he realized it'd be better to serve the war efforts writing laws. Instead, he realized he'd be better served to help the war effort. No, he'd better serve the war effort. Instead, he realized he'd better serve the war effort by writing laws. Instead, he realized gosh, I'm struggling here. It's the pressure. Instead, he realized he'd better serve the war effort by writing laws.
It's a nice sunny day out here today. As you can tell by the ladder behind me there, it looks like they're doing some renovations out here on some of the pieces of the property. Matt's up on the hill there, and he's doing the next part of his segment that he's going to put in his video. Me, I'm just kind of roaming around and checking out the history myself, because when I go to these places, I'm not a videographer or an expert on creating videos. I just like to capture the historical places I go to and talk about it here on this channel. So to me, the thing that latches on and catches me when I walk out here to this field is the closeness of these enslaved quarters and stables to the actual mansion up on the hill. These are examples, and I'm not sure 100% that they were in this place, and they probably were, some of them. But every day when an enslaved person on Montpelier wakes up and goes out to do the back-breaking labor that they have to do, that large mansion right back there is what they wake up and see. They know that the boss lives in that house, and they're not getting paid for their labor. They are not getting a choice as to what they can and cannot do. They are out here working in the sun, in the heat, in the rain, in the snow, cold, hot, indifferent, and they're doing it without a paycheck, without a choice. That really is the thing that I focus on when I talk to people about enslaved people. Now, none of us today knows anything about it or what it was like, but we have things that were written. We have accounts of the way people were treated and what that life was like. Even in Ken Burns' documentary, there was a man that was recorded talking about the way he felt about himself as an enslaved person, and it was an actual former enslaved person saying that he would rather die than to go back to that life because to him you were nothing more than a dog. Just think about that. Those are the things I think about when I walk around places like these. A great mind lived in that house, and he helped build the Constitution that would eventually be the building block of this country and turn this thing, this experiment, into a beacon of hope for the world. But at the very beginning of it, that beacon of hope had a lot of people in it that were here not by choice.
So this is one of the biggest pieces we found in this unit. When we flip it over, once it actually does come out, the back of it will most likely look more like this.
Yeah, he found one there too.
It's really green.
Okay.
It looks like it's coming to heat.
Yeah, it does look good. Yeah.
But just the thing I can't get over is the fact that one guy that studies time capsules estimated at least 95% of all time capsules are forgotten or misplaced within 5 years of being buried.
That's crazy.
And like, what does that say about the entire profession of history? You know, like when we complain about people today, like, don't you remember we did this in the past and it didn't work? Don't you remember? Of course they don't remember.
Right.
They don't even remember what happened last week, you know? And I guess that's why, like, it's been particularly frustrating for me, like coming from, you know, I was in the classroom for 12 years and I saw firsthand, like, social studies was pushed to the back burner in my state. Like, all the funding, all the initiatives were towards STEM.
Yeah.
And we would have a week of testing. They'd test for reading and science and math. And they chose the time of the day to have the kids test during social studies classes. And that, I think, was symbolic of the entire problem. Like, we have a whole generation, maybe 2 generations, that they don't really, unless you're like history dorks like us who like get into this stuff anyways.
Yeah.
They were never taught it.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
So as we walk away from Matt Beat, working back here in front of the house, getting prepared for his video, I'm going to head towards Madison's grave, his family cemetery. And off to the side of there is also a location marked as the cemetery of the enslaved people for this property here too. Madison, like we were talking about earlier, being the father of the Constitution, knew he had to prepare for it. So right before he goes into helping draft this initial draft of the Constitution, he sits down and he studies like crazy. He studies and studies and studies other governments. Well, here we are. We've made it inside the cemetery. Cemetery of Legends. James Madison. Dolley Madison. You can't get any bigger than that. It's pretty neat to see. James was the last of the founding fathers to be alive. And his wife was a really big, important part of his life. And though he married late, he always kept her involved. And she was realistically what was considered the first lady, considering the lavish dinner parties and things like that that she held at that time. And a lot of people based their first ladyship, if you will, off of the way she handled things. She was a very strong woman, and certainly someone that he looked to for comfort and for guidance. These were a very important couple here. And not to mention, James Madison taking on the responsibility of being a father of a young man that was not his birth son. That says something about the man himself too.
And you want me to start recording?
Go ahead.
Action. Do you want me to watch the camera?
Sure. Just make sure I'm not getting dark.
Okay. Oh, you're kind of.
She's recording right there. Watch out, Liddy. Watch out, you're blocking. Come over on this side, or over there.
Here.
I can't believe he was president. I can't believe he was president. James Madison, I mean. I can't believe he was president.